Pottery has been a wild experience, especially for me. I always thought the first couple classes it's very hard to experience because it's just starting out. But now it's gotten so used to it, it's just like muscle memory. Post-COVID and during COVID while doing pottery was a very strange experience. When you're first going into COVID, you have to take all your pottery supply with you home and make a certain area in order to do pottery. And pottery is so dusty and so drying, it's super messy. So you have to find a certain area in your house. Typically, you use a garage, a table, countertop. But this, you have to change so much about your dynamic, especially at home, to make something more quiet and so you can focus, especially on pottery because it's such a strange art form. For me, it was super easy because I use my room. But coming back, especially with the new pottery classroom, was so nice. The glazes were actually really nice, and the glazes are the paint for pottery pieces that were just super safe. At least we get to use that all in class, but when you're at home, you have to come back to the classroom in order to glaze your piece. And it was such a longer process.
Today I started the second one and during my fourth period class, and then I came back to it today later this afternoon, and the finger had fallen off, and it didn't turn out great, so now I'm starting it over. So
compared to other classes, pottery is a lot more hands-on. No pun intended, but pun intended. Drawing was so much harder because you had to keep so many values and richness within that. But pottery is a lot more simpler and more basic. But yeah, you can make it to whatever you want. Your creativity is the limit. But it has so much skill and so much focus, and it helps you level out your eye-hand coordination so much better, in my opinion, at least to me in my experience.
Pottery's been really fun. It's been a learning process, so I didn't start out actually knowing what I'm doing. It just takes a lot of learning time to get techniques down, but once you get it, it just becomes really easy and fun, and you kind of get to experiment with whatever you want. It's a creative process.